This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're delighted to be joined with a good friend in Scotland once again, Ben McGivern. How are you, Ben?
I'm not bad, Steve. How's yourself?
Struggling on, I guess. We're getting to another weekend. Obviously, initially you were supposed to be fighting tomorrow night, so obviously I know that the weigh-in's just been done there for that card. Um,
Yes.
I guess we've sort of been talking sort of off camera, I guess, a wee bit. Initially, it was looking like you and Dominic Donegan were obviously going to fight in March on the Conlon card, and because of Lopez's injury, it didn't happen. But we're 15 days out now from, I'd probably fairly say, probably the biggest fight for both of your careers so far.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. For both fighters, it is the best fight to date, and the one that's stood out most for both because obviously what's on the line and what's afterwards.
Yeah, I wanted to sort of touch on that probably early on in the interview, and I know that you and Dominic obviously will be focused on each other for this fight, but obviously the initial agreement was obviously it was going to be we're going to fight for the BUA Celtic middleweight title, and I guess I'm taking the credit for this one. I'd obviously mentioned the British Boxing Board Celtic title, so if Sam's listening or Ian Cochrane's listening, I'll send you my details and you can give me some commission for it. But I guess the good thing, obviously, out of this fight as well, is the winner of you and Dom will obviously be ranked in Europe as well.
Yeah, definitely. We've spoke previously when the first interview you done for me when I was trying to get my debut and it wasn't looking good for me. Obviously with COVID and that, but 3 years on in the position I've put myself in, and to say that one win away to be ranked in Europe is, if you asked me this in the first interview, I would have said no, not I wouldn't. This is not a chance. But we're 3 years ahead now, and honest to God, I have to pinch myself sometimes to realise the position I've got myself in. But as I said to you before, I'm not here to make numbers up. I'm here to compete, and look where I'm at just now.
I guess I'd sort of said to you off camera there as well, with the opportunities and stuff you've had, since you made your debut, a year and a half ago, pretty much. I think it was what, July 2021. So it's about a year and a half, just over that
Hmm.
you're boxing. You nearly
Yeah,
sometimes wish you were a few years younger, but I guess these opportunities, Ben, have come because you're happy to say yes to any fight. You're not here to mess about. You're not here to look at a record and go, I don't know about that fight. I don't know about this fight. You're just happy to get in there and mix it up.
definitely. I've always says records are for DJs. I'm a boxer. I'm a fighting man. Uh, you pick up that phone and you want to fight, I'll always say yes. Do you know what I mean? It's regardless of who it is, where it is. Do you know what I mean? If it's your back garden, front garden, if it's in arenas, if it's in small hall shows and whatever. Listen, I'm only here to do one thing, and it's my job. Uh, I'm I've been in this game now many years, and I've came in, went away and came back again, and to say that the position I've put myself in just now is mind blowing. But that's credit to obviously my team around me, the people that supported me, the people that's got me in this position, my manager, my sponsors. Do you know what I mean? It's everybody around me. It's pushed me, told me that I still had something left, and do you know what? I have. I know I've got a lot left in me, and I'm going to prove it. And as I says at the start, I'll fight anybody.
I guess it's me and you obviously I think this is our third or fourth maybe interview. I think when I initially obviously interviewed you at the very start to say it was getting your license and everything else. Do you think obviously and now that's your second Irish fighter you fought? Obviously you fought Jamie Morrissey and towards the back end of last year for the Celtic super middleweight title. Um, Obviously I know that you and Jamie's become very very good mates and things like that since, but what a fight even that was. If you and Dom can get that level, the fans in Scotland are going in for a treat in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Me and Jamie, yeah, have became friends, and I wish him the best of luck. He's doing fantastic in the sport, which after when I fought, I knew that he would because he is a very tough laddie and what a nice guy. Him and his team. Uh, I was blessed to obviously get to know Jamie after the fight and get to know his promoter Ian and that. So I had a very nice lads and I wish him all the best. And again, me and Dom will just put the exact same show on as me and Jamie did, and we'll continue the same as me and Jamie has. I've got no bad blood with anybody that I fight. It's just business, and I was at Dom's last fight, and before he went in, I wished him the best luck. And when he won, I went in and congratulated him. Do you know what I mean? It's a short-lived sport for some. For myself, it's a sport that it fell short for my own reasons. But I came back and now I'm just more hungrier than ever to continue on and progress and see how far I can go. And as you say, we're 2 weeks away tomorrow now from seeing where it goes from there. So it's very interesting, very interesting.
And I know obviously after Dominic's last fight, obviously he had an interview with me the day after, and he'd sort of mentioned about the fight. But I think even by that stage, I think the fight was sort of already agreed in the changing room sort of after his fight.
Yeah.
There's no bad blood between you and Dom. I know that the TUs have sort of been messaging myself and sort of having a bit of banter, but it's
Yeah.
you don't need to have any bad blood to sell a fight. At the end of the day, the cards on the line there for both of you. Whoever wins not only becomes the British Boxing World Celtic champion, but they'll also get the fight on Michael Conlan and Lopez in the world title fight on the 27th of May in March. So, what more motivation does either you or Dominic need? You don't need to bad with each other for it.
No, we don't. We don't need to hype a fight up. We don't need to start bad talking because at the end of the day, we've been there, we've done it, we've had the background of the boxing, we've hit bumpy roads, and we've been in similar the same situations, but only different a wee bit, I would say. But we're in the same situation at the minute. Uh, he hit a bad patch for a while, obviously through bad reasons. But I, as myself, it was just through my own fault. But do you know what? We don't need to start bad mouthing each other. The fight sells itself. It's a cracking card. It's on a British and Commonwealth title, and what's there afterwards, which I'm not looking ahead of Dom, is massive. And as you say, the Conlon and Lopez. Now it doesn't get any bigger than that for myself. For the age that I'm at anyway, because I've not got much miles left in the clock, obviously. But again, a win takes me and opens the doors even bigger. Scotland and Ireland, do you know what I mean? It's again, it always sells its fight itself. Do you know what I mean? It's Scotland, Ireland. It's there and it's sell. Do you know what I mean? There's no bad blood between me and Dom, and there won't be afterwards either, regardless who wins or who loses. Do you know what I mean? It'll be condolences, or it'll be if I win, I'll say to him, do you know what I mean? How you done, and I wish him the best in his future, and vice versa. I believe he'd be the same. So no bad blood. Just I hope him. I wish him well in his training camp, and I wish obviously I'll see him on the night and hear a good a cracking fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Obviously, 2023 is obviously going to be your last year in boxing. So, do you sort of treat probably nearly every fight now as their last? So, obviously, you're putting everything into it. Is it the sort of stage that one more defeat and you're finished, or you'll keep going to the end of 2023? What do you have in your mind with it? Is it just when probably you feel time's enough? Or I guess you're going to do it in your own accord, Ben. And that's the great thing about boxing. If you can do it in your own accord when you go, I've had enough, and I don't want to get you on a negative sort of spinning things, but with you obviously deciding that this is 2023 is your last year, and the opportunities
Well,
coming with it, you might get to December of this year and you could be mandated for a European title, and you're going, well, here, hold on, I'm meant to retire. Is it just whatever opportunities come between now and the end of this year, and then that's it over, or see how it goes?
Well, I wasn't expecting a shot like I've got just now. So if this was 4 months ago, I would have said 2023 would have been my last year. But this now, the way I stand is each fight is my last fight. If I lost, then there's if I lost and there's nothing going to be there for me. Do you know what I mean? Then, but if I win, as you say, it opens massive doors for myself and it gets interesting, really interesting. So it's each fight at a time for myself. So if I win this one, then we go to Ireland on the calling card, and then we'll go for there. But for now, it's a fight at a time, and we'll see where we go for there because one loss, one more loss for me, and it's the doors are shut. There's nowhere else for me to go. Do you know what I mean? And I I don't see that to be like negative on myself or anybody around me that wants me to continue or whatever. I'm only doing it because I've got to a stage where I didn't believe I would have got to where I'm at just now, and I have. And if I continue on and I win and I keep progressing, which I'm training like a young laddie in the gym, and I'm training in this camp like it's my world title, and I'm doing rounds and rounds and rounds, and like I'm flying at the minute, and there's nothing that's going to stop me from not winning. And I'm not meaning that to be nasty against Dom, and I take it Dom will be the exact same, but this is my last opportunity at gold, and nothing and no one in my way will stop me.
Obviously, winning the title for you would be massive, particularly obviously of what you've turned around, and obviously in life and everything else. I don't need to sort of ask, what a sort of win would do. A win for you or Dom is massive. It'll be your best wins of your career, amateur or professional. Obviously, I know you box in the Biba circuit as well. Um, is that you don't need any extra motivation for that? It's just the fact that because you know that one more defeat. Sometimes they say when the chips are down and sort of you don't need any more motivation. If I don't win, this could be my last fight. So you're going to give absolutely everything.
Oh, that's the way I'm looking at it, Steve. I'm just looking at it as I'm blessed to be in this fight. I'm just want to get to this fight. I want to win this fight and both fighters to go home safe to their families. As I say, there's no bad blood. There's just business, and for me, my life relies on this fight because, as you says, I've done the amateur and I walked away and I've come back. And for where I was when I came back, I was 116 kilograms. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm fighting the middleweight, 72. It's I've achieved a lot as in myself and for where I'm at just now, for where I was. And if I have to walk away with a loss in 2 weeks, then I'll walk away with my held high because I've achieved a lot and I've got to where I did. Do you know what I mean? It's a win no matter what because I've got in that position and regardless if I win or loss, do you know what I mean? It's if I lost and it's congratulations to Dom and I wish him all the best. And for me, it's more looking at the coaching side, etc. Do you know what I mean? I'll put what I know back into the sport, but the sports gave me. Do you know what I mean? So, but I've not got the loss in head on. I've got the winning head on, but I don't think too much of loss. Do you know what I mean? But I know it's a 50-50 fight. It's going to be a hard fight. I'm taking nothing away from Dom. Dom's training hard and he's looking well, etc. Do you know what I mean? So anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? And if it isn't my night on the night, then my next step is I'll put what I know into the sport and I'll give the sport back to what it gave me.
Do you sort of maybe see this as because obviously it's going to be the lowest you fought as a pro as well that where you obviously fought Jimmy Morrison, you sort of need a stool sort of times to reach the height of him and everything else. You're
Well, I
fighting
did
it.
tell you the titles.
Stilettos, yeah, that's right. Stilettos. But obviously now as coming down obviously another £8 to £160 that we would probably maybe see the best Ben McGivern yet as well because obviously that extra £8 can make such a difference as well. Do you go into that thinking that because you're going to come in later, you maybe might come in stronger at middleweight as well?
Yeah, well, that's one thing that a lot of people have been saying in the gym. Faye, I've came down they're saying it's without trying to butt myself up and try to sell this fight or whatever, but they're saying that this is my weight, this is the weight I should have been fighting at, etc. And I know it was, but see, just to be at the weight and to see how well I'm sparring and how hard I'm hitting, it's to where I was with Jamie in that fight. That Jamie's fight was an eye opener, and I'm glad I had that fight. It showed me a lot for where I should be, as in weight wise, and it still shows at super middle that I can still have a go regardless. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And against a guy, it's almost a kicking ass half 7 foot. That
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So it was a cracking 8 rounds, and it's one I took a lot away from, and I learnt from, and I've watched it back numerous of times, and I know where I went wrong. I knew what I had to work on, and do you know what? We've went back and we've worked on stuff, and do you know what? It's worked perfect. Coming down and weight, realised now that that's the way I should have been fighting it from the start. But again, that was all through my own fault to get myself in that mess in the first place. Do you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
to get in there, it was funny enough. I was out running, and I was having a laugh with my pal, and I went, and something clicked in my head, and I went, do you know something? I'm actually a bit a stone away from fighting the weight that I used to amateur at the 60 kilos. Do you know what I mean? A stone and a half away, or whatever it was. And see me, you think about it that way when you fought at 60 kilo amateur and you're fighting at 72 or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? I was 116 back not that long ago. Now I'm almost at fucking the weight that I was when I was amateur. It's scary, and it's quite pleasing to see how far I have came and what I have achieved through weight wise. But yeah, it's very interesting, and I'm happy at the stage I'm at.
It sounds to me like obviously that you're, if I'm thinking into your mindset, you're someone that obviously that always looks for the wee small term goals to sort of click. And obviously, what you're saying, or obviously the weight that you wear, obviously before you come back to boxing, you're moving down in weight. You're thinking obviously back to your amateur days. You know, you're coming round full circle, but you're using wee small targets to hit, and
Yeah.
that obviously helps to keep the mindset flowing. And obviously, they say, you know, you're wanting to try and peak at the right time now in 15 days time, so you can get the very best. And they say, if your very best is your best and you win, fantastic.
Mhm.
If you give your very best and you lose, then you've done everything you can.
Correct, 100%. That's the way I'm looking at it, and to to say that looking back at my amateur days, because it doesn't really get spoke about, and when I was speaking about it, my old trainer, Bobby, he sent me a few pictures from back in the day, and it brought back countless of memories and what great nights and big shows and the people I have fought and people I did beat. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing, and just to think that that was so long ago, but to say that I'm still doing it at this level and at my age, do you know what I mean? It's people I've boxed with amateur are now coaches, retired, etc. And they're me. Do you know what I mean? I came into this game just to tick boxes and if I could win a title, but to be in the position I'm in just now, like British Boxing Board to control Celtic isn't no mug. Yeah, a title. It's a decent belt, and for myself to be fighting for. That's why I look on it as my world title shot. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I've put everything into this camp, and I've put in everything, and I've looked back at my fights, my previous fights, and where we went wrong, and I've went digging this time rather than other camps and just I'm like, oh, previous fights don't matter. I've went back and I've looked at every other fight, and I know where I've went wrong, what I've done right, what I need to work on, and do the extra miles. Do you know what I mean? You see yourself. I'm out in the roads constantly. It's 5 o'clock in the morning before I go to work, and then I'm at night again. I'm running. I'm away to the gym. I'm doing runnings before I go to the gym. I'm putting everything into this. So I win's great. I lose also great, but also not as great because I've walked away with nothing, and hence belt wise. But I've still walked away with my head held high.
Dominic, obviously wanted me to ask you, how's your marathon running going? I was going to put the poll up, this, the thing for questions this morning. He wanted me to ask you how your marathon running was going, so he's keeping an eye on you.
Who's that? Oh, Jamie.
Dominic.
Oh, Dominic. Aye, all right, Dominic's aye. No, listen, the roads are doing fine. It's just it keeps me busy. I'm, as I said, when I'm in the gym, like I'm first again last to come out kind of thing, and I'm always I always get itchy feet. I love running. Do you know what I mean? And just it's one thing I used to hate when I was younger, but see now I've just adapted to it now. Do you know what I mean? It's I need to get a good run in to get a good sleep. Do you know what I mean? And I got up early, and if I'm not going into work early, I'll just start hitting the roads. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of the things. My sleeping pattern, the amount of sleep I get is 7 to 8 hours, and then I'm up. So if I don't start work early, then I'm out in the roads. So my road work's just part of me, and it always will be now. Do you know what I mean? Regardless if I'm going to be in a fight or not. Do you know what I mean? So it's good to keep. It keeps you motivated, good for the old head, and it keeps you thinking when you're going. Do you know what I mean? It's good.
And obviously, finally, then, I know you sort of said and mentioned in the interview there, you see it as a sort of 50-50 fight. How do you see the fight going the distance? You seen it being a close fight where it's in close quarters, where you're sort of like a phone box style fight, or how do you envisage the fight going yourself?
I've It's very hard to tell, Steve. Looking at Dom's last performance, he controlled the fight well. Uh, he worked in that jab. Do you know what I mean? So to the style I've now built on, as I say, as I look back and I've changed a lot of things myself. It's going to be very very interesting. Do you know what I mean? And for this will be my second fight at middleweight. Do you know what I mean? But it's the most important fight in my career. It's on the night you're going to have butterflies in your belly. You're going to have the nerves kicking in again. It's going to be like when you first turn amateur and you have your first fight or your debut. This is right up there. And for me, it's the fight. I'm not a prediction person, as I say. I'm just wanting to get in there and win and do it and win well. But I've been, as you know, when I was on the Bieber, I've done the 10 rounds before on the Bieber thing. And do you know what I mean? But this isn't Bieber. This is British Boxing Board of Control. This is somebody that's come to try and take my head off to try and continue his career. Do you know what I mean? So I'm mindful of who I'm up against, and I'm not overlooking Dom whatsoever. And as I say, a 50-50 fight. I can't put my finger out there and say I think I'm going to be on top. I just think it's going to be a game of chess. I really do. I think it's going to be a right good, interesting fight, and let the best man win. And all going well, we both get home to safe to our families. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is. That's all I want. And as I say, Tom's a cracking guy, and I've spoken to him before. Uh, when he was over here the last time. And again, it's just business, and that's all I can think of that.
It's a card. Obviously, you've you and Dom. Obviously, Scotland versus Ireland. You've obviously England versus Scotland. There's going to be some atmosphere in the venue. Are you sort of going to be? Obviously, you're going to be the home fighter and everything else. Is that atmosphere going to be the one that's maybe going to dictate how the fight goes on the night? I guess the raucous you get out of the crowd, the more it's probably going to deliver into an amazing atmosphere for the fight.
Yeah, well, I'm not one to bounce off the crowd, as I say. I'm in there just to focus on one person, and everybody else around me till my corner. Is I just let that go. Hang me. It's not until after I watch a fight back I hear. But the crowd won't. It'll be good with the crowd, and it'll be very loud on the night. But to be fair, I'm not going to say the crowd's going to win with the fights, because I need to do that myself. It's me versus Dom. It's just me and Dom. Do you know what I mean? I've got a hard fight in my hands, and that I'm willing to. That's who I'm focusing on. Do you know what I mean? I won't need the crowd to cheer me on or shout there, regardless if the crowd was there or wasn't there. If it was in my back garden, it'd be the exact same outcome. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the ones, and as I say, it's going to be very interesting for the fight.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Well, that's
The,
about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it was training camps went fantastic, sparrings went fantastic, and we looks at so as Dom. So two boys, it's got everything to win and move on, and everything to lose. So again, it'll be emotional at the end for Manny's, but again, it'll be interesting at the same time.
As well, listen, obviously, thanks very much for your time as always, Ben. Obviously,
No,
enjoy obviously your last week or so of camp and 15 days time. Obviously, may the best man win on the night.
definitely, that's it. May the best man win.
Well, thanks very much for your time and take care of yourself,
Thanks,
Ben.
thanks for having me on again, Steve.
Not a problem, Ben. Cheers. Take
Right,
care.
right, thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye
Cheers.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.